Google Pest Control. Marketer, grow your business like never before. Call 770-993-0004.
Well, hello, folks. This is Hal Coleman, and welcome to yet another episode of PestControlMarketing.live, the only live streaming internet TV show totally guaranteed to helping you, the PCO and the WCO, make more money by getting more new customers, more sales, and growing your business. And I'm here with my ever-present sidekick, better known as the Ed McMahon of Pest Control TV, my one and only friend and mentor for over 40 years, Mike Stewart. How you doing, Mikey?
I'm doing great. You know, I was talking to a bunch of younger folks on a live stream, and I said, I'm the Ed McMahon of this particular thing. And they said, who's Ed McMahon? Didn't that just break your heart?
Oh, listen, I took my son. This has been 20 years ago now. I co-signed with him to buy an automobile. We found a used Mustang at the Ford dealership that he really liked. We could get a good deal on it. And I was on my way to a pest control conference that morning. I said, okay, we got it. We made the deal. I'll go by. We'll sign the papers, but I want to drive it. Since I'm co-signing with you, I want to be the first one to drive it. So we got in it. We signed the papers, got the keys, and we got out. And we got on the interstate, and it was 5 speed. So I'm winding it out, and I said, this is just like the car Steve McQueen drove in Bullitt. And my 20-year-old son looked at me and says, who's Steve McQueen? And I just wanted to hang my head and think, what has happened to this world?
Oh, well, I'm sure that's just the way it's always been. You know what's, do you know who said this younger generation is out of control?
Oh, some guy 5,000 years ago, I think.
Yeah, Socrates said it.
Yeah.
That's a paraphrase of it. Well, let's get to the thing here. We got a great guest today, and we always start the show off with blunders. So I'm going to let you go with your.
Okay, I've got a marketing blunder that's a really good one today, Mike, and it came actually from my wife. Gave me the idea. I always preach that you got to make it about the other person. You can't make it about you. People don't want to hear about you and talk about you and your company and they want to hear about themselves, and you want to talk about them. So here's an example of this. And I think this is why a lot of people in MLMs fail, to tell you the truth. I'm not knocking them, but a lot of people aren't prepared for the way they should sell. My wife, I came home last week, and Lynn had this bowl. It wasn't Tupperware, but it was some kind of set of bowls on the counter there. And I said, where do we get these? And she said, oh, I went to and of course they did it virtually this time instead of in person. She said, I went to a party, attended one where somebody was hosting it to have this, sell this stuff. And I said, well, is this something that we need? And she said, not really, but she said if she could sell enough stuff, it would help her get a free reward bonus or whatever. Okay. So she kind of guilted my wife into buying stuff to help her get a reward and a bonus. And I'm like, so in other words, you didn't really want it, but you bought it to help her get what she wanted. She said, yeah, I felt guilty not doing it. What a marketing blunder. Now, I can tell you that person that hosted that party and did all that is probably not going to be in the business long, because there's no repeat business when you're guilting people into buying stuff or forcing them to buy stuff that they really don't need. But yet it's just a backwards way of selling, and it doesn't work by leaning on people and say, look, I can get this if you'll help me. That's just not what selling is all about. Selling is about helping people solve problems and helping them achieve their goals and get what they want. You have no value here. Okay. It's all about the customer. You make it all about them. And if the lady had have sold this product based on, let me tell you, I bought some of this for myself, and here's what it does, and here's why I love it, this is the greatest stuff in the world, and tell all the benefits, and then let the person make the decide if they want to buy it or not. But guilting people to buy or squeezing them to buy because it's going to benefit you is absolutely the wrong way to sell, and you will not survive if that's the way you sell. So you got to make it about the other person. That's my marketing blunder for today.
Oh, I know that. I remember years ago, an insurance salesman told me, he says, I really need to sell this policy because if I can sell this policy, I win a trip to Hawaii. And I finally said, I tell you what, find another sucker. No, thank you.
Is it going to take you with him? Is it going to take you with him if you buy the product?
Well, that offended me, quite honestly. You didn't care about if it was a good product for me, if it solved my problems. You cared about what's in it for you, and it's always what's in it for me, the customer. Right. And I just know that it's amazing that people. I used to do a little trick to make it what's in it for you. I'd say, hey, if you do business with me and you put it on your American Express, you'll get points that you can put towards a vacation. And I've actually sold people because I flipped it for what's in it for them as opposed to what's in it for me. All right. Well, my marketing blunder is kind of ties into our guest today, what we're going to be talking about, content creation. But I don't know how many times I say to people, you need to make video. And I've heard this objection. I don't like how I look. I'm not comfortable doing video. I don't want to learn how to use the software. I don't think it's important. I mean, I've heard every objection to not wanting to make video. And I'll go with the first one. I don't like how I look. I used to tell people as a joke from the stage, I have a face for radio. But let me tell you something. Every day of your life, there are two cameras that look at you. That's the eyes in people's heads. And they are looking at you to see if they can trust you, if they can like you, and if they can get to know you. So you can't avoid those cameras, being face to face with people. And this camera right here, I'm going to put my finger right here. You see I'm pointing that lens? That is just a lens. That is people's eyes. When you look into the lens of that camera, you're making a connection with people. That's why even with the face for radio that I have, I got over the fact that making video nowadays on the internet, you're walking around with one of the most powerful television cameras ever created. It's called a cell phone. I'm partial to iPhones. I think they're better when it comes to video editing, but Androids and iPhones are amazing cameras. This is $100 Logitech. You and I have $100 Logitech webcams that are better television cameras than they used to use in television 30 years ago. So learning, the blunder is objecting to making video. The lesson here is get over yourself and learn to get on camera and talk to people, and you'll make relationships that turn into business. So that's my blunder for the day.
Good job. Good blunder. Yeah. You can tell how old somebody is. When I was at a golf tournament a while back, and they were having an auction, and somebody had donated like a 60-inch flat screen TV. I mean, so people were obviously going to bid on this thing. And this was an old guy like us that was doing the auction. And he said, and now we got this huge color TV. And I saw some of the young people, kind of looking around like, it's like telling somebody this automobile's got air conditioning. Oh man!
Right. With a CD player.
Yeah. Hey, before we get much further, Mike, we need to tell people that right now they can download my book, How to Grow a Pest Control Business, Bottom Line, and they can get it at howtogrowapestcontrolbusiness.com. You can download this book free, and there's over 100 tips, strategies, techniques guaranteed to generate more customers, more referrals, and more cash. I had a guy tell me the other day, he signed on to my coaching program. He said, well, to be honest, I've been using your book for quite quite a while to grow my business. I've implemented a lot of stuff in there. He said, he said, I'm totally impressed, and I've learned a lot of stuff and already getting a lot of new customers just from reading your book. So, folks, you can get it free at or if you prefer the, one you can hold in your hand, you can get it for $30 at Amazon right now. And some people do that, but the download is free if you'd like to. So go check out that book. You can't beat the price. FREE.
Well, why don't we talk about this guy waiting in the green room that you're gonna grill him and talk to him about content? Let me show you something that we both did with this guy real quick here. You want to go ahead and tell his name and give him a quick little intro, and I got something here I want to show before we bring him on.
Coby McConnell with Coby's Tentless Termite and Pest Control down in Clearwater, Florida. He's been a client of mine off and on now for probably 6 or 7 years, I'm guessing. He's done several stints in my coaching program, and he's a great guy. He's fearless when it comes to tackling new things and stepping out of the box. And he has reaped the rewards of having that positive attitude about learning and doing new things. And I know you have something you want to say about him. So
yeah, well, we both have worked with him from the online. If I'll throw it up here again, there you go, Mr. Offline and Mr. Online. Those of you on the podcast, that's why you want to watch the live stream to see the picture of me and Hal when we met 40 years ago. And
and that's me. That's not a werewolf on the left with a guitar. That's actually me.
But anyway, Coby, I think it was a couple of years ago. I said, Coby, you got to start making video. And there's a little screenshot of his YouTube channel. I mean, this guy just started shooting and making video content. And of course, I know you guys are going to talk about more things, but let's just bring him on up here and you guys get started talking about.
You can let us know when it's time for a commercial, okay?
I'll come back and say this. Now a word from our sponsor. But come on, welcome to the stage, Mr. Coby McConnell.
Good morning. Hey, thank you guys.
Good to have you here, Coby. Yep. Appreciate it. When Coby and I get talking, it usually goes down the trail of fishing or deer hunting or turkeys or wild game or
cigars.
Yeah. So how you doing today?
I'm doing great. And just to put my 2 cents in, Mike, I don't mind the way you look. Now, Hal's a different story, but I don't mind at all the way you look. So
yeah, I am a different story. I do mind the way Mike looks. No.
So good morning, Hal.
Well, just remember, I'm in control, and I can kick all of you guys out of this studio. So be nice, Hal.
So listen, Mike, I know you got some questions for Coby, and this is a lot more of online for Mr. Online than Mr. Offline. So I'm going to just kind of kit back and let y'all talk about some things here because I'll be more of an interruption.
Well, one of the things I wanted to talk about, Hal, is that, when it comes to content marketing, I'd like to have your perspective of how when you coached Coby, I mean, the main thing about content marketing is, and that's, using it in the online world, but, you can use content marketing and the content creation in the offline world. So I'll keep us all up here to where we all have a good discussion. But the big thing that I want Coby to reveal to the audience is that here is a live example of a PCO, pest control operator, who didn't resist making the content, and just talk about some of the things that have happened. And we're also going to other levels. We're starting. For those of you who are watching the live podcast. And watching the live stream, you can see that all three of us have professional microphones. That was one of the things that I recommended to Coby. But Coby, why don't you talk a little bit about your experience and overcoming the initial okay, this is what I got to do. Okay. As opposed to this is what I got to do. I don't want to.
So when I started back with Hal 6 or 7 years ago, I had a lot of stuff to undo. I mean, I didn't own an iPhone at the time, and he insisted that that's what I needed to get. Well, once I got it and realized how simple it was to go ahead and produce a short video, jumped right on it. I had tried multiple advertising things that have cost anywhere from next to nothing to many thousands of dollars, and never got much out of it. In fact, I had spent in one stint, I had gone ahead and offered a great rate, put 5,000 door knockers out, and I lost money because the only person that called me was one of my customers saying, "Can I get this better rate?" But once I started listening to what Hal and Mike had to say on changing the way my trucks looked and change the things, you started noticing a difference. But when I started doing videos, that was crazy. It was amazing that you would have 50, and sometimes I've got one video out there that has, I think, 20,000 views. But it's just one of those things to where I listened to these guys, and when I did, things just grew exponentially for me, and I was just blessed beyond belief. So, but the content you put out there, whatever it is, if it's about a roach, it's about an ant, it's about a termite, it's about whatever, that Google spider goes out, finds it, brings it back, and says, "Okay, you need to watch this." And when that happens, that's just one more customer that wants to go ahead and say, "Hey, I want to know this guy." And I can't tell you how many times you look just like your commercial. Well, I hope I do. But people like that, and they're going to, it's a simple, extremely simple thing to go ahead and do. Once you've done it a time or two. And so I try to tell everybody, you have to do videos, guys. It's an easy thing. It's nothing difficult. You know your business. Just tell people what you'd do if you were in front of them. So.
Yeah, and I remember in the early days, you were a good student because you went out. I have people, and Mike alluded to it earlier, that iPhones seem to just work better. They're easier to use. They're more compatible with the stuff that we do, the shooting and editing of videos. But I have people who say, "No, I don't want to get an iPhone. I'm not going to get an iPhone. I'm going to use this phone." And here's a program. No, I don't want to use that program. I want to use this. And so they become uncoachable. I mean, you were just so coachable. You always have plunged right in. And I remember in the beginning, it probably took you half an hour to do a video or more to get it shot and edited and uploaded. How long would it take you now to do a video, a 1 minute video?
15 minutes tops. I mean, would not take long at all.
That's editing and uploading to YouTube. That's the whole. Yeah. That's shooting it, editing it, uploading it to YouTube, and now for the rest of your life, that video is out there, calling to people and sending them to your door, and it'll do that forever. And I remember there was a time now back, 2 or 3 years ago when you came to a workshop that Mike and I did. I think it was in Atlanta, and I asked you how many videos you'd done lately, and you're like, you hadn't done one in about 6 months, I think, or 4 months or whatever. And so I threatened you in a very serious way with bodily harm. And I think over the next 90 days, you shot and edited like 50 something videos and put them up on YouTube. So sometimes that's what we have to do, is just somebody gets in a rut, we have to kind of fire them up. That cattle prod that we use, it only takes once to get your attention. And after that, it's pretty effective. Yeah.
I also appreciate you guys staying on top of me when I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. I mean, Well, my one of my favorite excuses is I had to make soup. And people look at me, so what's that got to do with making videos? He goes, absolutely nothing, but one excuse is just as good as another. So once you get over the excuses and you get, look, this is what you have to do. And it's the pain of same versus the pain of change. Okay. Is it more painful for me not to grow and to lose money or not make money? Or is it, or vice versa, more painful for me to do this versus that? Anyway, long and short is that if you go ahead and you do this, it works. I mean, that's the bottom line.
Yeah. And, a lot of people think of videos, well, just videos, YouTube. There are so many different ways to use videos. I've got a client, several clients are doing this now, but the first one to do was my client and friend Daniel over in Sunshine Coast, Australia, and we were talking about videos. He's so good at doing videos. I said, look, when you ride along into a neighborhood and you see a real estate sign out in front of a house, it says for sale, and it's got the agent's name and telephone number. I said, just pull over, stop, take a picture of that sign, and later that day when you get home, sit down with your iPhone and shoot a video. And just if the agent's name is Barbara Johnson, then you say, hey, Barbara, this is Coby McConnell. I'm Coby's Termite Pest Control. I saw you have a house for sale over on McPherson Drive, and I just wanted to introduce myself to you and let you know that if I can ever help you with a wood infestation report, a termite issue, or a pest control problem, I would love to talk to you about my services. And again, I hope you sell 1 million houses this year. Because the phone number is on the sign, right? It's a cell phone number. So, and they get that video. And so he said he would do it, and talked to him a few weeks later for our coaching call. He said, I went out and tried that video thing. And he said, I did 2 of them. And he said, one of the agents called me back and he said, I've already gotten 2. She's already sent me 2 new customers and said she's going to use me from now on. All from doing a video that took him 30 seconds to shoot. And then he just hit the button and sent it to her as a text. And she receives it. And he said she was just blown away. You can do introductions. You can do a video documentary up in somebody's attic or crawl space and come back and show it to them. You can, there's so many things to do with videos. And Mike, online, even besides YouTube, where all can you put your videos?
Well, I'll tell you what, right now we're going to have a little word from our sponsor, and we're going to come back and talk about the things that Coby is doing, the things Coby is starting to do, and really the content marketing strategies that we see as opportunities. Because what it all boils down to, when you do things that others don't, you rise above the crowd. So we'll be right back in about 30 seconds here.
Hey folks, it's Hal here, and I want to tell you about my personal coaching program designed specifically for PCOs and WCOs who want to grow their businesses faster, easier, and build more value and wealth for your future retirement. To find out more, simply give me a call at 770-993-0004, and I'll treat you to a free 1-hour coaching session so you can see for yourself what I do and how I can help you. There's no obligation and no strings attached.
Google Pest Control, marketer, grow your business like never before. Call 770-993-0004.
And we're back. Coby, one of the things, and I'm trying to be respectful of, there was a period in your business here where you were growing it, and then you had something change about it, and you can elaborate if you want to. But the thing is this is the lesson that Coby is doing, and everybody else should do it. He's made a decision that he's going to do everything he needs to do to grow this business. Correct?
Absolutely.
Right. And of course, I'm not trying to, but there was a period there where, you can tell folks if you want to, but you weren't as interested in growing it as much as you are right now. At
the time I thought I was going to be selling the business, and moving on to something else. And those plans fell through. And the first thing I did was pick up the phone and call Hal. Says, okay, I need to get back in the saddle. And he says, okay, you need to call Mike. So, it's one of those things to where I knew what worked in the past, and I know what will work in the future. And you guys don't ever steer me wrong.
Well, I appreciate those kind words, but for the definition of this particular show, content marketing is not just videos. Content marketing is what we call in on the internet in blogging or journaling is becoming an authority on a subject. It's called internet authority. And the way you establish authority is with lots and lots of pieces of content. There's a book by a guy named Gary Vaynerchuk, who is kind of the world's leading authority on content marketing and social media marketing. So one of the things that Coby's doing, and you can talk about it, and we're just getting started on some of these things. So that's why I'm going to throw up Coby's web address here. It's Coby's Pest Control. In fact, one of the things that I love about Coby's website is if you Google Coby's Pest Control, 3 words, if you put that in Google, you're going to find he's all over Google. And that's the goal. You want the world to know how to find you online. And then when they find you online, there should be a lot of content that turns strangers into customers. So the type of things that we're doing and Coby's doing, you can elaborate a little bit on it, Coby, here in a second, is obviously YouTube videos, getting comfortable making videos, like Hal talked about what I call customized video communication, like the real estate sign, or when you're under the crawl space and saying, well, Mr. Stewart, I'm shooting a video here, and you see this problem right here on your in your crawl space. This is, and you can actually send that to me, so I don't have to crawl into the crawl space to see what you see. So there's all kinds of uses like that. But that's not content marketing. That's video usage. Content marketing is making a video that goes on YouTube, goes on Instagram, goes in Facebook, and is optimized to be a lead generator for you. That's why we do not only do video content marketing, we do audio content marketing. That's called a podcast. We had a PCO the other day. Not many of our PCOs are doing podcasts. Yeah.
Because they're finding out, the word's getting out how powerful it is when somebody says, how did you find my company? Oh, I haven't listened to your podcast.
Well, I mean, Hal and I remember when I told Hal, I said, Hal, we need to start doing a podcast. And generally, I've actually had people say, well, what the hell is a podcast? Well, you'd have to live under a rock not to know what a podcast is. But at the end of the day, it's the ability that when people are looking for answers to questions, they can listen to you rather than read you. And then you take that same content, that audio content, and transcribe it, and it becomes written content. And it's called the Gary Vaynerchuk content model marketing, because there's only 3 ways to get found on the internet. SEO, search engine optimization, and there some SEO people don't like me when I say this, but SEO is dying. And the reason search engine optimization is dying is Google doesn't want to give away clicks for free. Lots of people did things to trick the search engines into finding you. So SEO is getting harder and harder. One comment was SEO is 50% down what it was 10 years ago. Then the only 2 things left are paid advertising, which is when you buy clicks, buy people to find you. And then the other thing is content marketing, when you create relevant content that is localized content, and that localized content can be found. In other words, when you create a piece of content and localize it to the Clearwater area, it's probably not going to show up in Nashville or Atlanta. But when you type into Google, I'm having a problem with Yellow Jackets. We've had this happen with some of our clients. Their content shows up, which becomes the lead generator back to their website, gets them involved with their subscribing to their podcast. gets them engaged. And when you have content that establishes you as the authority, we want to do business with people we know, like, and trust, and are experts. So that's why we're, Coby, why don't you talk about what we've talked about so far and what your intentions are on the type of things that you can talk about in Clearwater to give a good example. And also, I don't want to be the only one talking. Have a guest here and be the only one talking. So go ahead.
Yeah, Mike, shut up and let Coby talk.
So what I'm looking to do with the podcast and the videos, I'm not just looking for people to see those or hear those, although they click on there and say, well, you must know what you're talking about because you created a video or a podcast. But also, like you said, the Gary Vaynerchuk model is to repurpose this into multiple locations. And you're able to, as I understand it, and Mike can better answer this, but you're able to go ahead and pinpoint small zip codes where you want to be. So if you, in my case, my goal is to really, really dominate North Pinellas County. And that's because that's where most of my business is. So he was telling me that we can do everything from have advertising come up on Facebook and whatnot because of that, but we also can have a commercial that we produce come up on different things that people listen to that how it happens and whatnot. But if they're in that zip code, that's going to pop up there. Your commercial, your information, your something's going to come up because of you repurposing the small things that you're doing. And like I said, Mike can answer that a little bit better, but those are the things that I'm excited about happening.
Well, and that's the thing is number one, getting excited about this is probably the first step for any PCO. In other words, getting past the resistance to create content. And then what happens is when you're doing content marketing, it lives on the internet forever. So that's another positive. But, we're kind of blending two areas. We've got the paid advertising and the content marketing. One of the things about paid advertising that Coby and I are working on, and Hal and I are working on with Coby, is the fact that when you do paid advertising, the internet and cell phones are so smart, they know where they are. So you can go in and send audio and video and content that converts a stranger into a customer, and that cell phone knows where it's at. So in other words, that's how you can zero in on these zip codes, because you can say, I want this ad to run when the cell phone is within this perimeter. In other words, if that phone goes out of the perimeter or that computer is outside of that perimeter of advertising, that ad doesn't show up, because you don't want your ads running in Alaska, because nobody in Alaska is going to call you, even though they could tune you in. So there are techniques with audio marketing, with video marketing, and of course, one of the things that I've coined called PPC, pay-per-click video landing pages. That's something that we've got a formula that's based on direct response marketing strategies, but instead of driving advertising to the homepage of your website, which, Hal and I could do a whole show on home pages that are horrible. and this is driving people. They're pretty, but they don't convert. What we're doing is we're making specific pages on the internet that we're driving specific groups of people in specific area codes to specific pages on the internet of your website that talk to people in such a way that going, I know you have this problem. I know this problem is bad. I'm the solution to the problem. Give me a call. It's 4 strategies. It's state the problem, talk about how bad the problem is, remind people that you have a unique solution that beats all your competitors, and to take call to action. And when you do that combination, I don't see anybody else doing it. And those are the kind of things that we're using video. And one of the reasons I love what Coby is that because we're not in the same town, I can't come over and shoot Coby's video. He has to learn to be confident to make at least convincing enough video, or you're going to spend a lot of money hiring a professional. And we don't there's a lot of great videographers out there, TV people and whatnot in every market, but you can spend a whole lot of money, but you can sit there and test things with your cell phone a whole lot easier. So video content, video marketing, audio marketing. And then of course, one of the other things that Hal and I, got Coby involved with. What I love about Coby, and one of the reasons I'm glad he's here, and hopefully he'll attest to this, he's not resistant to trying things that he's not comfortable doing. I think that's the key. And he, the comment he had with me when I had his conversation a few months ago, says, whatever you tell me to do, I'm going to do. So we got what's called a SERP term jingle. We're training that local market how to search for him with the use of music. And that's another thing a lot of PCOs don't use. I mean, there's some famous ones. Looky, 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 here comes Cookie's been running for 30 plus years. But most PCOs don't use the power of SERP term music to educate their market how to find them. So that's all this is about. So Hal, why don't you give some more questions here, and let's get Coby talking a little bit more, because we're going to have to wind it up. We're already at
just about to run out of time here. But I faced this, and I continually do as I grow. I run into things that you tell me, Mike. You say, how you need to start doing this, and I'm like, okay, and you show me exactly how to do it. And then we hang up the phone, and how many seconds does it take me to call you back and say, what do I do now after I push this button? But, if I could, we talked about this, if I can learn how to do this stuff, anybody can learn how to do it. And I share that story. It's not difficult to make videos. It just, if you can tie your shoe, or if you can program someone's phone number into your cell phone, you can make videos. And if you can't do any of those things, please don't get in a vehicle and try to operate it down the highway, because it's a lot more difficult than making a video. So, just don't be afraid, and it may be uncomfortable in the beginning, but you'll attest to that, won't you, Coby? Some of this is a little uncomfortable when you first do it.
Well, I think anytime you do something you've never done before, and you have to hunt and peck and finally figure out how to do it. But once it's under your belt, that's the thing, is that, and then once you start seeing results from it being under your belt, that's even, I think it takes me, like I said, 15 minutes, but even if it took me an hour to create a short video, say 2, 3, 4 minutes, something like that. And if I got 50 views, one a week, 50 views a year. Okay. 50 people saw, and they're looking for the exact content that I've just produced. And it took me an hour to have 50 people interested this year. Those numbers are phenomenal. When you think about that, those numbers are phenomenal. Your return on your investment it's crazy.
Yeah. Those are people who are looking. Generally, if somebody's watching a pest control operator's video on YouTube, they've already made the decision to buy your product.
Yeah.
They're just searching for someone that they trust, that they can make that phone call to and do business with. So there's no hotter prospect than somebody who's watching your pest control video. It's not like watching how to put together a model airplane video or how to catch more fish video. They're not watching pest control videos for fun and pleasure. They're watching it because they have a problem and they want to get it solved as quick as they can. Right. So if they're watching your video, you got a hot prospect right there.
Well, one of the things folks forget, and I've asked people, what is YouTube? I'll say to people, what is YouTube? And the answer I get, it's a place where you can watch funny, goofy videos and music videos and people, doing stupid things and controversial things and blah, blah. No, it's a search engine. It is the second largest search engine in the world, but it's the search engine of answering questions. What do I do about yellow jackets? What do I do about mice? What do I do? And when you type things generic like that, Google says, oh, this phone or this computer is in a local area. And what happens is Coby's videos could come up in Tampa where they wouldn't come up here in Nashville. But my point being is when you give Google great content that satisfies their users looking for solutions, they will reward you with the results. And then you can pay to bring those results to the top. And one of the things that we're doing with Coby, and Coby will attest to this, you always lead them with how to find you. In fact, we do that here with our live stream. We have a jingle. It sings Hal's phone number. Google Pest Control Marketer. Grow your business like never before. Call 770-993-0004. We even rhymed it to help you remember. In fact, I love this question from Sam. Hal, Coby, you did. Hey guys, we really need your help with this. That's exactly why we're creating this content right now. And it's not something that we preach to our clients and our good folks like Coby. We do it ourselves because it works.
Everything I do, that I teach my clients, I do myself. I say, look, here's how I use this myself. I'm not telling you to do something that I don't do. But anyway, Mike, Coby, hey, Coby, will you come back Coby just moved into a new office, which is an exciting thing to do. And got some great signs that we've been working on and everything. And you're out on a busy highway, and over this next year, those thousands of people daily looking at your sign and your phone number, that's going to become imprinted in their minds also. And then one day when they need a service, they're going to say, oh yeah, that guy I see out on the highway.
So yes, I'd love to come back, guys, and show what worked and how it worked and those type of things. One other thing I forgot all about just before we're leaving here is that I'll have my Google Analytics for my hometown listing. I forget what the heck Google Places used to be.
Google My Business. Now Google, you're getting technical, Coby, on these folks.
Okay, right.
Google My Business Analytics. Wow.
But here's the deal on that. Okay, during the height of termite season, I had 3,500 people find me. I didn't pay a dime for that. 3,500 people located me, and I think we got 81 phone calls off of that.
Those are local people too.
Those
They're not
all
people
local
in
people.
Arizona calling you.
Yeah, those are all local people, and it didn't cost me a dime. Why? Because of what you guys taught me to do.
And the 80,000, the 82 people that called you, how many would you say offhand you converted into a customer?
Let's say on a low rate, at least 50%.
Okay, so there's 40 new customers with a lifetime value of average of 10 years and $5,000. So 40, that's $200,000 worth of business that you
for one piece of content, right?
You generated that for zero cost other than the time of sitting down and creating the content.
Right.
How can you beat that?
But you can't.
The reason this works, Coby, is you're doing what others won't. And
so I tell you this, I tell everybody this. And like I said, I've done a lot of different things, spent a lot of money. This is the only thing that has made me money consistently when I do what they tell me to do.
Well, I appreciate those words. You're a great student, and you're going to do great at whatever you do. I know you have a dream of someday moving up to, is it?
Virginia,
yeah. And there's a special breed of cattle that you want to grow and swine and
I want to raise Coby beef.
Yeah, Coby beef. That's great, and you'll do it too, because you know what? When you do sell your company and move up there, you're going to take everything you've learned. Coby will be
absolutely
Coby beef. He'll be doing cattle videos,
marketing. Absolutely, I can't wait. But
Absolutely.
guys, thank you very much. I appreciate it again for having me on.
Thank you for being here, Coby. And thank you, Mike. Always good to chat with you too. And folks, thank you for watching this episode of Pest Control Marketing Live.
Hal Coleman has been active in the pest control industry for over 40 years, including owning and operating his own successful pest control business for 18 years. He now devotes his time to helping other PCOs and other WCOs double, triple, and even quadruple their businesses faster than they ever imagined. Be sure to check out his website, pestcontrolmarketer.com. For more information about Hal's coaching program, you can reach him at 770-993-0004 or email him hal@halcoleman.com. Mike Stewart is known as the Internet audio and video guy. Since the birth of the Internet, Mike has been showing small business owners how to get more new customers, increase their sales, and grow their businesses online using audio and video, now with iPhones and Android phones. For more information about Mike's coaching program and his online training courses, visit MikeStewartCoaching.com or email him mike@internetaudioguide.com.
Google Pest Control Marketer. Grow your business like never before. Call 770-993-0004.